The Acolyte Season 1, Episode 3 aired almost a week ago. As of the time of this recording, Episode 4 hasn't released yet. And there's been a lot of buzz about Episode 3. Things like, how does rock burn? And how did the whole fortress come down with just a lantern thrown? Well, what we saw in Episode 3 was considered Osha's point of view in The Acolyte and what happened to her family and the cult on Brendock. And there's a lot of buzz going around that next time we're going to see May's point of view as to what happened on Brendock. Now, there's also a lot of talk about why all the witches were dead in a circle in the Acolyte Season 1, Episode 3. Why the fire spread so quickly and how Soul, Master Soul, came to be there to help Osha just as she was about to fall. What was he already doing in the temple? Well, from May's point of view, we may get to see that. See what I did there? May. Anyway, stupid joke. But I have this whole theory that I've concocted over the last several days about how it wasn't actually May who destroyed the temple. No, but we'll get into that. And if you're new here, go on and hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment down below what you think of the Acolyte so far. And yes, I know a lot of you don't like it, so I don't need a million people saying it. One or two's fine. But yeah, leave me a comment. But my theory goes like this, and I'm going to simplify it and then expand upon it a little bit. Torben. Padawan Torben at the time, later known as Master Torben. A lot of things haven't rang right with me in this. It didn't settle right in the Acolyte for me, but the story's only 3 episodes in, and we haven't got the full picture, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. Torben did it. Yeah. Now, ever since we saw Torben take the potion, or poison, whatever you want to call it, and take his own life, I thought, man, why would a Jedi do that? Jedi aren't like that. They're not suicidal. They don't have depression and all that stuff. Well, maybe they do, but we don't know about it. So why would he do that? Just because they took one girl and not the other one, assuming the other one had died and the other girl burned the place to the ground. The Jedi are innocent of all claims if that were the whole story, but it's not. Torben took down that palace. And why would he do that? Look at how the witches treated him. They cursed him. They put a spell on him and made his eyes turn black and made him act a funny way, and he didn't like it. And being a Padawan, he's not as strong in the Force as some masters would be. And then we think, well, he went into that solitude thing and communed with the Force and just meditated for 10 years. Yeah, because of his guilt, he turned to the dark side for a moment and took down an entire population. And that's why we see Kalnaka fighting with Torben in that one split scene in the trailer. Kalnaka finds out, Soul finds out, Indara finds out, and they go to help the witches, but it's too late. They're already dead. Torben's already done his thing. And once he's done, he turns back to the light side after getting the nice scar and losing an eyeball to Kalnaka. Now, after watching Episode 3, I was probably just as confused as everybody else on the Acolyte and what direction it was going, and I wasn't ready to call it trash yet because it's only 3 episodes out of 8 that have played out so far. Yeah, let's give the story a chance. But I do see other people's concerns with it, like how does brick burn? That's still a question that a lot of people have, and well, it's science fantasy, but we can't chalk it up for that and write it off because of that. But what we can say is that the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Yeah, so the Force could possibly be a culprit from Torben by burning the place down. Yes, throwing the lantern at the jail cell that May locked Osha in seemed a little ridiculous that it burned, but there was fuel in that lantern and that fuel would have burned, and we only got to see it for a little moment anyway. We don't know if all that fuel burned off. We don't know how oxidizing that fuel is. Maybe it makes its own fire or breathes itself or whatever. You know what oxidation means. Anyway, But I think we take a lot of things that are shown right in front of us and take it so literal that it makes us dislike something or have a certain opinion of something without letting it play out or going through all the facts. And I can't blame anybody for that, but I also can't blame Torben if he did take down those witches. I mean, look at what they did to him. Yeah, that'd make anybody want to turn to the dark side for a moment and have a moment of unclarity and take down an entire population of dangerous people. Who wouldn't? I mean, he was only a Padawan at the time, and after that, he pretty much led the rest of his life in solitude and silence, atoning for his sins. Okay, makes sense now. If this is the way it plays out. And that's my theory, so I'm going to stick with it until maybe tonight when it's debunked or something else happens. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Does this sound plausible or no? And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it with some friends or enemies or cats, gerbils, whatever. Just share it with some people. Let's get the voice out there. Let's spread some positivity in Star Wars, shall we? Until the next video, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way.